love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold it, anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared. I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you're gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. Don't be scared.
All right, welcome everybody. My name is Lane. Welcome to Road Dog Crypto. Today we're looking at Bitcoin and what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto today with all the crazy stuff going on. Let me get everything situated here. Try to get some music. That did not work out. Still working on that. Getting used to this whole streaming thing. If I can get a sound check, if anyone's here to give me that, make sure that I am being heard here. All right, testing. Let me do a quick little... All right, got a sound check going on there. Good deal. All right. Let me get over to my screen and get to the right chart here. A lot of things going on with Bitcoin today. Been kind of crazy. Oh, and it looks so good, didn't it? It broke out of this channel here. Let's go to a larger time frame there. See what's going on. It's in a tricky situation now, all right? And was going to stream earlier, but it's just better to wait to see what happens, right? So we got this ascending channel, and we've talked about this before. If we break out of this channel, it looked good. And so it looked like it's breaking out, but what it didn't do, and the warning that I've got to make, we got to have that candle close. So we're charting this mostly on the 4 hour here, and let's talk about time frames for a second. Since that's what we're looking at, this is what we're looking at to validate that close. So following this on the 4 hour time frame, I should see an opening candle right here. That would validate that we broke above that and that we can go ahead and go to some more upside. What has happened now? We've got rejected. Okay, so we got to see what this means. So most likely when we do get rejected, we're just headed down toward the bottom of the channel, and then we'll see if that holds. Now, the thing to consider here is that if this bottom does not hold, we are looking for some more downward action. That's just how this plays out. Probably take us back down to the lower 1600s. That would be the first target going along this trend line here. But we got a situation going on right now that we got to take a look at. This dotted line right here, this red dotted line. Let me go ahead and highlight that. If I can we blow this up? Let's make that huge. All right. This dotted line was our low before we dropped down. That was our low, about 17,630 is what I've got here. I've got it lined up. If we go to the daily, we can do this easier. This wick right here, that's where this line is coming from. Looking to the left, that's a support resistance slip. That was the bottom that we just hit. And we only hit that once, right? Until we had the big fall from grace that we had right up here. This is a critical area. We are above that now. This is huge, okay? If we can maintain that, this is a huge sign for Bitcoin and some promising probability that we will continue to the upside. So it's very critical to see if we hold this point right here, about 17,600 right through there. If we do not, do expect downward action. There are kind of some scenarios here I want to go over. One of the bullish things about this, I may have to get on another chart to show this. And let's go out to a bigger time frame if this will make sense here. Let me show you what is potentially going on here. So when we take a trend line, identify a range, and that's basically what we're doing. Actually, you know, if I use let me just use a box. That may make this just a little bit easier to understand. We were in a range right here, trading that. And let's just go ahead and drop it down to, let's just keep it here. Well, there's two ways to look at this. We'll go ahead and drag this down to our very bottom here that we had. And that will make the full range of what we consider to be a Wyckoff accumulation. And that's what we saw going on here for the longest. We saw accumulation in Bitcoin, especially right around, you know, if I can get down there, these levels right here, anything under 20,000 to 18,000, that was the common place where everyone was picking up to store for their long-term holds. A lot of institutions were buying in this area. And then, of course, we had the big collapse here, drove us down to these other areas. Wasn't looking good. And so there's two scenarios that can play out here. And let me get my little drawing tool here. We could be coming back up to these areas right here, about 1900, and get rejected. That doesn't look good. That would bring us down to these lower areas, probably around 14,000. It could. That would be in line with the trend line that we could just draw right here and see that just lines up very well with that idea that we could be dropping down there, and this could make an overall larger descending channel, which is really actually a bullish sign. If this were to happen, you know, that increases the chance that there will be a breakout above this, that you could come down these lower areas and then eventually break above this. This has like a, you know, almost a 7 out of 10 chance. Let's say 6.5 out of 10 chance to break to the upside. Most times you will see that it does. We're not even there yet, but that's just a possible scenario we could be looking at. What I'm actually looking at now is if we get into this Wyckoff theory, if we do break above this and hold above 17.6, above the level where we're at, if we can actually maintain that, that means we've officially broken back into our Wyckoff area. This may be acting as a Wyckoff spring, which would be a very bullish signal that we've got a very good chance to slowly make it back up to these areas. And that could be a clue that the bottom is in, if this works out as a spring. In order for that to do that, we cannot go below 17,006. We've got to hold that. Maybe it could wick below it, price could drop back down there and come back above. As long as our candle opens and closes, are above 17.6, 17.7 in that area, we've got a good shot. If we don't, get ready, because we'll be played with for a while. Now, here's one thing that I want to bring up. If we break back up into this area and that doesn't hold, they break back down, that to me would be a clear sign of manipulation. It should hold this level. If it does not, I'm looking for players to fake us all out, get us all excited, and then dump on our heads. And we'd be looking at the lower scenario, about 14,000. So it's critical where we are right now, but it is looking bullish. It's looking good. Now let's take a look at some of the lower time frames and see what the likelihood of this playing out is. We're still at the top of this trend line, and let me get back to the other chart that I've got figured out right here. This is my main chart that I use even when I'm trading and charting for myself. So we've not made it back to retest this level. That's bullish, okay? So we could come back down here, and just go sideways and eventually break out. Now, this is not a bullish pattern. This is actually a bearish pattern. It has 64% chance to break to the downside on average. Usually does. But the thing is, if this is a turning point, this is a great pattern to have for that, because if price does break out above this line right here, this blue trend line, and it holds it, meaning a candle open, candle close, and of course, we're looking on the 4 hour. I'm not here on the 5 minute, not here on the 15 minute, or that's not in part of the strategy. We can use those if we're trying to get in to kind of sniper things to get better entries and better exits when we're taking liquidity. But the main purpose, whatever chart that you're starting out with when you're doing your analysis, when you decide to trade with, like for instance, let me just say, I like to look at the daily, move myself down, and I usually, since I'm more of a swing trader, I'll take longer trades that have bigger moves. Therefore, I get bigger profits. That's how I look at that. Besides doing a day trade where I'm just looking at making just a few percent and using a bunch of leverage. And I play around with that too. But I'm mostly a swing trader, and most people out there are swing or position traders or investors. Everybody's not a day trader. There's nothing glorious about being a day trader unless you have the time to do it and the inclination to do it. That's great and fine and dandy, but the majority of people are not. So swing trading seems to be something that works out favorably for me, and seems to work out for a lot of people. So the 4 hour time frame is what I maintain. So I base my trades for here. So I am looking for a candle open or candle close above this line. That would signify that we have an official breakout. When you break out of an ascending channel, they have a tendency to make a very, very strong move, almost a parabolic move to the upside. So I would expect it to easily go above 19,000 if that were to happen. But the trick is that going to happen since we just now got rejected? So with the FMOC news coming out, and they did 50 basis points, and that's what it was expected. We see this every freaking month out of stocks in Bitcoin. And before the run up, there's usually running the price up, and then right before or right during when they announce what they're going to do, which, they already hint at it before, it's just a big game, really. So there is some degree of manipulation here from some bigger players, market makers, things like that, driving the price up to grab that liquidity and then possibly slamming it down. So we don't want to see it slam down. I'm not looking for that. I love you, Bitcoin. I need you to do better. I believe in you, Bitcoin. I've been sweet talking Bitcoin, man. I don't know. Maybe we should all just try to sweet talk Bitcoin and see if we can encourage it. Bitcoin, I stand beside you, baby. I believe in you. What you doing? Back me up. Let's just keep moving forward. Let's not go back down. I don't know if that'll work or not. But we're just in a tricky situation with Bitcoin. Not terribly. It's actually looking good. We just got to see what would happen. But this is the crucial area, 17.6. Do not want to lose that. I don't care even if we, trade sideways for a little bit. Now, the more times that you tap on that line, the more chances you are breaking that area. But, we could just flag out and get another rise up, gradually working our way up, testing support and resistance, and then make that up. And that would be great. And I hope that happens, but there's no guarantees. So trade cautiously. The official rules for breakout trading: candle close, candle open above that line, that is technically a safe conservative time to jump in on a new trade or add to your position. But you do have to be cautious for what's commonly called a retest. So price may go up and then it may come back to that level to retest it. And you have to watch that. When it does that, that's another good area to add to your position or even to open one. That would be a more ultra conservative way to play this. And you're watching it at this retest point to see if that holds. You would have your stop losses, at a place where you can live with it, but not too close up there, because sometimes it'll wick down, stop you out, and then take off. So keep that in mind. But you want to look at this area as being a possible place for failure and safeguard yourself against that, so that if this is a big fake out, because keep in mind, we're in a bear market. Most of the time when we see breakouts on these patterns in a bear market, they have a high probability of being a fake out and taking us down to the downside. When we see that happen, expect prices to come down to the bottom area and possibly fool us all and break us down below. Be aware of that. Otherwise, things look pretty good. Right now, I want to take a moment just to do a PSA, public service announcement. Take a look at some of this news that we got going on here. We see that there's some breaking news here. SEC charges 8 social media influencers in a $100 million stock manipulation scam. These people were calling themselves professional traders. Okay? Are they pro traders or manipulators? I want to draw your attention to this, because in the crypto space, we hit up Twitter a lot. We hit up Telegram, hit up YouTube a lot, looking at people with shows, with live shows that put out videos, influencers, content creators. And there needs to be a difference between those two, I believe. But there are people out there calling themselves professional traders. What does that mean? And there's not really a clear, definite answer on that. My beef with this is that sometimes I see people out there calling them professional traders, and what they're really doing is having an infomercial where they're trying to sell you a product or a service, usually with a monthly subscription, to bait you in. And that can bring in quite a bit of money. It's a very lucrative way set up, very similar to the way this is. Not saying that it's necessarily a scam, but to teach you something that's available for free, it depends on how you look at that. Now, I'm not saying that trading groups or even having courses are bad. What I'm saying is that if you come across people and that's what they talk about all the time, that's what they're pushing all the time, pushing you to give them some kind of subscription or to buy something from them, making you feel like you're just not going to get it unless you join this group to learn, those are your red flags. Okay? That's all I got to say. Be wary of anyone that calls himself a professional trader, because there's not a clear-cut definition by that. But my definition is you make your money trading, and you don't need your trading group to be your source of income. And what I see happen out there is that this large amount of lucrative income comes in, and it's not spelled out for the audience. And it makes them look, oh, yeah, I got here because of my skilled trading. And I can show you exactly how to do that. And that's where we start, that's some shaky ground right there. Pro traders, watch out for that. That's my advice. And the reason I say that, do even a Google search will tell you that. A pro trader, by this definition, is someone who buys and sells securities frequently for short-term benefits. Okay, well, is that all it takes to be a pro trader? Well, there's some other definitions. What does it mean to be a professional trader? Professional trader is one who works in finance and is engaged in investing as a business or in a full-time role rather than occasionally as a hobby. That's one way to look at it. They may work for themselves at a trading company, as a wealth management firm, or as a freelance trader. Little blurry. IRS, this got this and points to IRS, but it doesn't lay anything about professional trader, just what it qualifies to be considered a trader. That doesn't help. Here's one that's interesting. What's the difference between a professional trader and a retail trader? Because that's what we really are. We're retail traders. We're trading our own money here, trying to better ourselves. A professional trader is someone who gets paid to trade other people's money. I can agree with that. That would definitely be a professional trader. A retail trader is someone who trades with their own money, but not for a living. Well, you know, you can debate that. To be a successful trader, you can't be trying to trade for income. I don't know. Some people do make an income. It's nothing that you can account for. It's not a weekly paycheck like you would get at your job. It's kind of a lifestyle change. But I mean, you can support yourself trading. You can make enough money to become financially free. But the trading aspect, in my opinion, it's harder and it takes a lot longer. It's a lot riskier than the investment aspect, which is a kind of a slow, steady thing that you can plan out over a series. In crypto, 2 years or less, and see a really, really good return from that. You plan that and play it accordingly. Trading, it can get a little different, but this is a cool skill to have. And either way you do this, trading or investing, learning technical analysis, man, that will clarify so many things. That is really a huge game changer. And that's why I try to teach here freely on my channel, throwing out what I know when it's applicable so you guys can learn from it and see what I do. And, you can go back to my old videos, see when I was right and when I was wrong. We're not always right, but we can point out what to look for, warning signs. And a lot of times, you'll be surprised that things do go pretty much in line with what we got. Maybe not exactly following the same exact little squiggly line, but getting price point to price point and organizing your trades, knowing not to get in at this point because really price is too high. It could come down lower, or not to sell here because, well, it could go up higher, or, you're selling at the bottom. You don't want to do that. They help you time your best entries and exit. It's a good skill to have, and it's not a hard skill to learn. And that's why I put it out here freely. So how long does it take to become a professional trader? It takes years of effort, money, compounding, and discipline to grow your trading account into something significant. So don't expect to trade full time after taking a weekend course with a $1,000 trading account. The odds are immensely against you. Yeah, it does take time, because not only, the technical analysis is going to help out greatly, but you've got to learn some other things. Manage your emotions. That is one of the biggest things. Your mind will psych you out. Your feelings will psych you out. You throw $10,000 into a just willy-nilly into the trade and see if you're not on some good leverage, and see if that don't get your heart started. It will freak you out, okay? So there takes some building some level of confidence in your own skills and to the technical analysis itself, even some fundamental analysis behind the projects that you're investing into or trading good projects versus, whatever squeaky thing seems to be jumping off at the moment, a short-lived bad. Let's take Steppen. Take that coin. That was all the talk. Everybody, buying the Steppen NFTs, earning money with it and everything. It was trading over $1, maybe up to $3 at one point, and now it's what, under 50 cents, something like that. Is it sustainable for that one to keep paying out? Obviously not. There are some fundamentals to look at. That was one that I looked at fundamentally, and I'm like, yeah, I just see this as being more of a fad, and not to offend anybody who's in it, but it didn't meet my risk profile to make me comfortable with it, so I avoided it, and a good thing, because it came down. And it may do well. I'm not really looked at the chart, but it's just not one that I personally trade. And it's because I'm trying to match up my risk levels with what's out there and doing my due diligence to make sure that I'm in good projects, that even if I have a trade that goes bad, let's say if I'm trading spot, somehow I don't do a stop loss or something, I want, at least if I'm going to get into a bad project or get into a project, if it goes south, I want it to be one that I know could at least have a good chance to make a comeback. I want something that's going to show some potential, whereas high penguins or whatever is flying off the shelf right now, what's its use case? What does it do? What does it bring to the table that's going to change the world? And that's just typically how I look at it. Now, traders have different aspects. They're all about playing hot potato, basically. versus the investment mindset, which is holding. You kind of have to balance those things. All right. So one more thing that I'll say, it says, is it hard to become a professional trader? Profitable trading is difficult, and successful traders share specific rare characteristics, whatever that means. It's estimated that more than 80% of traders fail and quit. One key to success is to identify strategies that win more money than they lose. And many traders fail because strategies fail to adapt to changing market conditions. And that's why I hope to kind of teach what I do here. That's why we take a look at the market, we see what's going on, and that's where we're able to change our strategies. An example of that is right now. I'm telling you, back on this one right here, look out for this. If this goes below 17.6, we got to change our strategy. It's likely going to do something different. If it can stay above that, our probabilities are on our side that, hey, we might have some more upside. It's that kind of thing. You do have to change the way that you look at things from time to time, and that's part of it. But overall, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm in Bitcoin for long term. And it's just, I still think it's a good time to be in crypto and Bitcoin right now. So as far as Bitcoin goes, it's at a tricky spot, but I think it's got a lot of promise. We've got support here that we broke out of. We got another layer of support here, and then we've got this one right here. So if we come down, we've got some stair steps to break through on the way down. So I don't expect just a big, huge drop if things go against us, just going straight down. I think it slowly takes some time, but we're not there. Right now, we're paying attention to this, 17.6. We see what happens there, then we can make up our next move. Right now, it is an if and then statement. If this happens, we do this. If this happens, plan B, we go this way. And that's pretty much how you have to approach this. But look at everything that's been going on this week, these past few weeks with crypto. And here we are getting up close. We already touched 18,000 again. That's amazing. That's good. That is showing strength and hope into Bitcoin. And I think that's amazing. Now, we haven't even got to look at the other markets, just kind of looking at Bitcoin, but I do like to do that. I do like to take a look at the dollar because the dollar affects the market. So I quickly like to just look at it, kind of compare and see where it is on the trajectory that I've looked at before. We're headed down. Okay, there was a chance, if I can get here, there was a good chance that, this would have broken out to the upside. Instead, we got rejected and we're coming down to the bottom. We've broken down below this trend line here. So we may have some more downside, but there may be a chance. This pattern does have a tendency to break up. So over time, and let's see what time frame we're looking here, maybe sometime toward the end of this month, we may reach that bottom and then break out of that and find a little upside. So, there's some things in the future that may happen with the dollar that could force the markets down. But right now it's looking really good that both the legacy markets and the crypto markets should be facing some, we should get a break here because the dollar is going down, especially after today, right? So let me clean that up a little bit. So that's what I got to say about the dollar. From here, a couple other metrics I like to look at, Bitcoin dominance being one. The reason that this is important is because this affects the altcoins. Bitcoin market cap dominance means between altcoins and Bitcoins, this shows where the money is going. Right now, money is flowing into Bitcoin. So when this indicator is on the upside, altcoins tend to kind of suffer, especially in the Bitcoin pair trading pairs. You're not going to build your Bitcoin when the Bitcoin dominance is going up. You want to find it when the Bitcoin dominance is down at the bottom, buy in these altcoins with Bitcoin, and then you can increase your Bitcoin's holdings as the dominance goes up. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I said that totally backwards. And forgive me for that. When the dominance goes to a high place, that's when you want to get in and buy your altcoins with Bitcoin. And then as it comes down, we get our mini altcoin season. That is when your Bitcoin price on these pairs increase. I'm sorry for the confusion there. So right now, the prices and the values of Bitcoin in these altcoins is going to go down, and that will make them more affordable to buy with Bitcoin. And then when we get a turnaround in that, that's where you will take your profit in Bitcoin. And that's a strategy that I'd use a lot. But it's good to look at Bitcoin dominance because well, right now, there's a lot of focus on that, on Bitcoin. So now, and it's broken out of this pattern. It's got some upswing here. So now I want to take a look at total 2 because that tells us how the altcoins are doing, right? Now, I am expecting a rally out of altcoins just based on the patterns that we have here and its price action. But it looks like it's going to be a little shaky and take a little bit longer to play out. But altcoins seem to be doing well. We came back up to this area right here. Let me go ahead and draw a line there. I don't want us to break below this. It's kind of the same situation with Bitcoin. We've got to see a bounce here. Seeing that bounce right where we are, start making another up move, things will be good. More money will be coming in the altcoins, and we should, possibly get a little mini altcoin season coming. This is a very powerful pattern here. It's got a high target to take us way up here. If that happens on altcoins, we're going to be really, really happy. You guys should be pretty happy right now seeing your portfolios kind of bounce back a little bit. That's a good feeling, right? Love that. That's I'm not making the terrible huge mistakes. This is actually starting to turn around a little bit. It's a good feeling. All right, so total 2 that we're just looking at, it looks pretty good, but we just got to keep an eye on it. 4 hour to get this red dot on market cipher. I don't know, we may come back down to these other areas. It may be a little shaky for the next couple of days until we figure out really what Bitcoin is doing. From here, we get a feel. What I'm doing, I'm taking the temperature of the market right now. I'm feeling out what's going on by looking at these bigger indicators, which help me figure out what's going on with Bitcoin, which helps me also figure out what's going on with the altcoins. And from here, I take a look at the altcoins that I'm interested in. One of them I wanted to look at a couple of days ago in my last live stream. I did not do it, mentioned it at the end, but just did not do it, was TON, T-O-N, the open network. That one had a great breakout. This is one that I've been following on my channel since about mid-October. And I wanted to build up a big position in it. I did not get a big position. It just did not come back down to the price points that I had. I was trying to get it around here, somewhere under $1.50, right? I think I got in somewhere about $1.65, somewhere through here. It seemed to be about where I could only pick it up from. I got lucky on a few of them, but generally my price is about $1.65 right through there, I think, on average. And we mentioned this on the channel because it has so much possibility coming from it's made by the people who made the Telegram app. So it checked my boxes for one that I'd be interested in, and I was featuring it on my channel as a possibility of one to invest in, and it's done so well. This is definitely not the time to get into it now, but I'm just telling you, when you plan these strategies and accumulations, it may take a little time for these to play out, but now this one's in profit. And from the point where I accumulated it to where we are now, and for anyone to follow my channel, yeah, look at that. Up to its high there, 84% gains, right? And to where it is right now, its present point, 54% gains from the accumulation area, and my average entry price right around $1.65. And that's good. If we would go up to around, 320. Oh, do we have it? Okay. I think we're still going. Okay. Let me go to AGIX, see if we can pull that up. Singularity.net. So this is an oscillator, and you see we come down, we go up, we come down. Look at it's trading a range. That's what I'm looking for. When I find a coin, doesn't necessarily have to be this one, but one that trades in a range during these long drawn out boring times, I like to get in there and basically just buy low, sell high within this range. So I was picking this up, doing this on the Bitcoin and Satoshis, picking this up right around between 200 250 Satoshis, and selling it when it gets to about between 4 and 600 Satoshis, which that's what it did over here. Let's get to the right chart there. And this is where I was explaining it before, I believe. So the whole idea, and one that you can apply to your strategies, finding a coin that oscillates that's trading within the zone. The one that you're familiar with would be good. I'm familiar with this one. I've traded this one a lot. I kind of got a feel for its personality and what to expect from it. So I accumulate in these bottom zones, and then I double my Bitcoin when it goes up from 200 to 400, 200 to 250 to 500, doubling my Bitcoin. If I put a whole Bitcoin in here, when it gets up here, I've got 2 Bitcoin. And those are the tricks that we do with Bitcoin pairs at this point of the market. Oh, I got some chat going on. Let me grab my chat. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted there. There's Lauren. Lauren, how you doing? I haven't seen you in so long. I've been wondering about you, been worried about you. So glad to see you back. Got Whale Talk. Let's see what we got. Lauren says, Lane. I say, Lauren. I missed you. Love you lot, soul brother. Oh, big hugs for my big soul sister. Lauren is good people. Whale Talk says, thanks, bro. Says, I did in September and now I'm numb. Okay. Changing market conditions, that's so key. Everybody's great in the bull, but when it's bear, where they head exactly. But man, for the people coming in, this is awesome. My chat disconnected? What's up with this? All right. Well, I apologize for ignoring chat. I got ADD. I got it bad. I get distracted all the time. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's creative. Okay. I'm open to doing any kind of coin request or any kind of analysis or anything, or if anybody got questions about technical analysis. But mainly I just wanted to come up here today trying to figure out a good time to do these streams. I'm mostly a night person, but hey, I need to be more of a day person. But I'm not seeing any other requests come in. So guys, I think I'm just going to go ahead and call this. But before I do, I'm going to pull up Bitcoin again and just kind of drive this point home. You know, just keep an eye on it and keep an eye on that point, 17.6. That's going to be the whole key to this. We got our if and and statements, what to do if we go above it and what to do if we go below it. Play that. We should be fine. It doesn't have to be on Bitcoin. Let me make this clear. If you see it bounce here on Bitcoin, that may be a good time to look at your altcoins because, you know, they may be affected. That may be a good time to jump in on an altcoin you got your eye on. If it goes down this way, get out of those altcoins that you're thinking about trading. You may see some downward action there. All right. Until next time, guys, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog. Thanking you so much for coming here. If you can, hit that like button on the way out.
For those of you out there that hit that like button, I just want to say thank you.
So glad to have you here. Stay positive. Keep those thoughts good. Keep those vibrations going. You know, life works out so much better when you're in a positive state of mind than when you're in a fearful or worried state of mind. You do attract what you focus on, and that's just how life works. Until next time, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog. Wishing you the best. Happy trading.